Tracy?
I'm fine, thank you. You okay?
Yeah.
Just, not used to doing this, so I'm just not used to sitting.
Don't ask me, sorry. There'll be somebody who's died. You're out. So. Charlie, how's the new boy getting on?
How's what?
The new boy.
Yeah.
Researcher.
That's right.
Is that this?
This is-
Yeah.
this is-
It's not just me.
It's
fine.
fine.
I heard it. No, it's not just me. It's running it all on me.
Make sure.
Somebody to visit somebody who worked very hard for us in the It's a brief visit.
Yeah.
You need to
Right, exactly.
see what happens.
Explain that. Yeah, they oversupply. Houses, it's down the market, but it costs money and they lose with it. It's worse than.
So Friday would probably be better if he wants to meet Brian.
Oh, right.
Currently.
But yeah, mention it to me. She's the one that deals with Brian's diary. So, just 10 minutes.
Yeah, they can argue viability on different sites, they can change.
Well, this is what
the
we're
development.
saying. We've had an argument about the viability of the development of this other site. Basically saying, well, this is, this whole development.
What's the contract?
About to solve all the problems, you just need to take our site and build, greenfield and build on it, and all your problems will be solved. What the right, it's basically.
Yeah.
I don't need to charge you.
Got control. The MPF is short.
What does it say? We find. But we'll
It'll take a few minutes for it to, if it's like, you know.
Oh, there you are, Andrew. A minute it will play. Hello.
I can send you a message saying this start with you.
Fine.
Yeah.
So.
A new kind of leader.
I
Just.
just sent it out.
Yeah, a new kind of leader.
Evening, everyone. Before I hand over to the chair of tonight's meeting, I remind everyone here in the room that we are now live streaming. We politely request that all participants wait until being invited to speak by the chair. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand. Once invited to speak, please finish your contribution by stating your name. This will help the mics lock in on the primary speaker and thereby maximise the sound quality for those watching at home. If you are watching at home and wish to participate in tonight's meeting, please turn your video on. If you are just observing, please turn your video off. are less actively speaking, or those watching the meeting via Zoom should have their mics muted. I will now hand over to tonight's chair.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday, the 16th of September's Economic Development and Planning Committee for Melksham Town Council. Item 1 on the agenda, any apologies?
I've received one just in councillor Soon.
Jack. I think Jack Oakley has. Item 2 is declarations of interest.
One of them's in my ward, it's the Forest and Sandridge is my ward.
Thank you. Item 3 is to invite public participation. So do I have any free fine gentlemen down there? Do you want to step up, please, and give a lovely introduction and yeah, please, yeah, that'd be great, thank you.
Good evening. I'm here to give a confidential update on the neighbourhood plan.
I can just mute the. Can we agree then to go propose to confidential session? On favour, thank you.
Councillor Mike Sankey, Wiltshire Councillor member for representing Melksham East. I've come here for a couple of items tonight. I wish I brought a notebook now because we've heard a lot, which is actually quite relevant to the things I'm interested in. Firstly, the application for Snelton Farm. As Councillor Patford has quite rightly said, it's not plan-led, it's speculative. And there are those within Wiltshire Council, myself included, who feel that on that basis, speculative applications should still be resisted when they don't comply with the neighbourhood plan or the local plan. How that pans out in future with potential appeals remains to be seen and might result in us taking a different steer at a later date. But as it stands, I personally still feel we should resist such applications. The other thing I was going to speak about was the application for Forest and Sandwich School for the all-weather sports pitch. I feel quite strongly that should be supported, but having said that, I think it's crucial that it's conditioned that that facility should be available for community use. When we're talking about community halls, that part of Melksham East, the community facilities were incorporated into the Forest and Sandwich School. The two pitches that are currently there have never been fit for purpose. They've never been available for use. So if this all-weather pitch goes ahead, that needs to be made available for community use. You may take a different view as a council, so I look forward to your deliberations, but if you are minded to feel the same way and approve the application, you may like to consider what times that pitch should be available for community use. Personally, off the top of my head, I would say it should, Monday to Friday, it should be 3:30 to 8 o'clock in the evening. Saturday and Sunday, possibly 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And again, if you are minded to approve the application or support the application, I should say, you might consider stipulating those times for it to be available. I think that's enough from it. There was loads of other things I was thinking of as Phil and David was speaking, but I'll leave you to your deliberations now.
Thank you, Mike.
Interest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Participation. Cool. Moving on then to item 4, which is approved minutes of the Economic Development and Planning Committee meeting held on the 27th of August.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, all in favour?
So I'll stay with you guys.
Thank you.
Sorry, Sharon, I've got to shoot. I'm really sorry. I've got to head off. I just had a message. Look all right.
4, is it?
What's your thing? I don't know.
Was it a third of the?
We'll read it first.
Oh.
Okay, so planning considerations, so item 5, members to note that when responding to planning applications, consideration should be given to the Melksham Joint Neighbourhood Plan, the Wiltshire Core Strategy and the National Planning Policy Framework. So our application starting with 6.1, which is application 07506. And this is the removal or variation of condition for Ramponds Farm, construction of a solar park. So I think this is changing the exploitation of use on site and delivering the land back to restoration back to its former condition.
So it was the changing of the date, isn't it?
Yeah, so changing
It's
the date.
Yeah.
So when it's restored back to, instead of being 25th anniversary of the date when it first introduced electricity, it's June 2055. You okay with that?
It's only a year or two different, wasn't what?
Yeah. That's the only reason to object that.
Okay.
We can come back to it a year or two before it's due, can't we?
I stopped working by then. Anyway.
It seems crazy to raise any big fuss about it.
That's right. So you propose it, Greg?
I'll propose it, yes.
Thank you, all in favour? That line. Application, also 6.2, application 07097. So this is the land south of Snarlton Farm. So the erection of up to 300 dwellings, class C3, land for local community use or building incorporating classes E, brackets B, brackets G, F2, B and C. I won't read all of that there, but we have had very comprehensive notes obviously from without were sent across to us, which kind of echoes really, I think, probably what all of our thoughts are and support that we would give Melksham Without.
Yeah, I'm quite happy for us to echo that. And only 30% affordable housing that they've offered as well. Just yeah. And that way as well, I mean, like we've got the new roundabout in the road. It's, you know, it's clogged up round there at the best of times. And with extra, it will just be even worse. So yeah, I think, yeah, we're already having issues with parking, we're already having issues with traffic, we're already having issues with roundabouts and whatever else. So
Well, I think, yeah, Mike's points about, you know, speculative.
So we just agree with.
I think,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely support everything Melksham
Yeah,
Without said. I think that's really the easiest way to handle
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to 6.3, and this is the application 07573, full plan permission for Forest and Sandridge Church of England primary school for the artificial grass pitch with perimeter fencing, hard standing area, storage, etc., and access for bar.
obviously this is my area, my children go to school there. I'm, you know, thank you, Mike, for coming in, because I do echo your sentiments. You know, this is very much needed. They haven't been able to use that, you know, the pictures for forever, and you know, the children are missing out. Not only children, community as well. But yes, if we could make sure that there are conditions that is used for community use as much as it is for the school, and for the timings to be put on there, because we need to make sure that they are available for the weekends as much and the weeknights.
Thank you. Councillor Ellis?
I was just going to say, there is a long history of us saying this is available for community use, and it hasn't been, not only at Sandridge, but also at the Oak, where those facilities are supposed to be publicly available, but they've been priced out of the market, or so many conditions put on that they've not been. Is there any way we can have recommendations put forward in the planning that will give teeth to the requirements rather than just being overridden? I'll possibly ask our clerk on that, as expert from elsewhere, potentially experiences.
Because obviously we've always had this issue that was designated as being the community centre, and subsequently it ticked a box, but nothing that's ever happened with it. Hence, as Mike was saying about actually, you know, in our conditions of supporting the application would be this thing about having, but really stating very clearly that this must happen, because you can't keep having this thing where there is no community.
Yeah, the school at Lowbourne.
But that's really in the comments.
The
That we
school at
want that.
Lowbourne.
We only agree on that basis. We agree to this only on the basis that it's.
Yeah.
The trouble is, there's all sorts of issues, because first of all, somebody's got to be there to supervise it, and secondly, the school are worried, or at least the school at Lowbourne were worried that if the members of the public were using it outside of school hours and the damage was done, then it's not available for the school.
You know, I understand that, but if at the end of the day, if they're saying we can run as a community centre for the community, then one, that is a well-known factor they should be taking into account anyway. And secondly, you know, Whitehorse Federation have gotten the money for that to become a community use, and that shouldn't be an excuse. If then saying no, we're not going to use it for community, even though that's what they're one, we should have given them the money in the first place, and they should repay that. And two, they need to be have that status taken away from them. And you know, but if they're there for community use, they should have the staffing, and the Whitehorse Federation need to sort that. And help the schools to make sure they are staffed correctly, and they need to have appropriate opening hours and be affordable.
I mean, I'm using my words carefully. I'm aware I'm very much doing so in public. It feels to me almost dishonest for these people to apply for these things, to state that we will do this, and then consistently not provide what is requested.
And let's make this very clear: this isn't the schools. this is the federation who have said, actually, yes, this can be used for community use. It's not necessarily the school, like, you know, we understand that the staff, of course, across all schools has been tough, but if Whitehall Federation is saying these can be used for community uses, Whitehall Federation needs to be stepping up and going, actually, this is how we're going to
Put the
supply
resources in
staff.
place, yeah.
Yes.
And then, you know, potentially in some cases, there perhaps needs to be enforcement through the Wiltshire Council where they agreed to it.
Yep.
If they don't like the condition at this point,
That can be done.
then please ask against the condition. But don't let's get these conditions written in just to have them, you know, gathering dust on some top shelf.
Okay, so I mean, I think what we're gathering here from you guys is that, yes, we do support it, however, with caveats. Did you get the times that Mike suggested, so Monday to Friday, 3:30 to 8 PM, and Saturday and Sundays, 10 till 4?
And Sunday.
10 till 4.
Shall we add the words at least onto that?
I think you've got to be realistic, haven't you, about what time people are going to use a facility like that into in the evening?
I mean, I'm looking, I mean, I suppose Saturday evening, or they'll all be down the pub.
I haven't said anything about lighting, so if you've got 8 PM in the winter, it's going to be dark, isn't it?
Yeah. Will floodlighting be included in the plans?
I don't think they are.
We're talking about lighting a pub.
Again, it's the responsibility of the White Horse Federation.
They need to make,
Provide
if they're gonna make it available, I mean, like, to be fair, even in the winter, 4 o'clock is dark, so, you know, if.
I have asked.
Well, that's the thing, people may not want to use, but if it's there to be used, so, and I think that's probably more that the facility is made available.
Yeah, and I
and
think
it's up to-
90% of the population of Melksham have no idea that they are even available.
Yes.
Can I quickly just suggest that you might want to change it perhaps to 3:30 in the afternoon till dusk?
Good one,
Yes, that's fine.
good thinking. Like that. Yeah, let's go with that.
3:32.
Dust.
I thought about that. I thought maybe it was an old-fashioned saying.
There you go.
Between dusk and sunset, is there a difference?
Yeah, one's darker than the other.
Well, this now gets semantic, right, okay. Oh, girls, right, oh, God, I've just got myself out for.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is completely out of order, and I understand if you don't allow it. But can I just make a slight correction to a statement that councillor Ayres said earlier about the solar farm? It's probably too late to do anything about this now, but they're actually asking to extend its working life by 15 years.
I thought they were asking to, not to extend it, but to decrease it.
No,
No.
they're asking to extend its working life by 15 years. I've got the plan application in front of me, and you should also have it in front of you.
So it's going, yes, because wasn't it 25 years from
That's
the
what
initial point of electric production to the actual
2055 is
2055 end date?
Quite likely that they won't last an extra 15 years anyway.
In the introduction, in the planning application, section 113, condition 2 of the consent restricts the development to a temporary period of 25 years from the date of first electricity generation, thus expiring 8th of June 2040. And then further down, item 114, this application seeks to extend the 25-year temporary consent by 15 years to allow the solar park to remain operational until the 8th of June 2055. So it's there in black and white in front of you, it's on your agenda.
I think we've been caught there by the fact that this is a variation from planning application of 2013 and not a current one.
Yeah, okay, so it
I-
hasn't even started, has it yet? It's not even been built. Do we don't even know when they're going to put a stake in the ground, do we?
Hang on, I thought this was already in operation. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
That's where, that's I think where councillor Harris from Melksham, that's actually a good correction, thank you for that.
They're not looking to extend the size of the solar park.
No,
They're
it's just
I know that.
the-
it's things it's not looking like.
This is,
Yeah, we understand that.
I mean, I'm seeing this here, it says talk about the condition here, it's an application based on 2024. So I look forward 25 years from there, and I look to 2050, and I thought it was going to take a time to build it, so 2055, what's the difference? Actually, the solar farm is a planning application which was made 10 years ago, and this is a new application to vary a condition that was put in at that point there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So
Let's move on, please. Moving on, so we've got proposal, we haven't got anywhere agreed with this.
Oh, with the school.
With the school.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
didn't-
yes,
we're on a different track.
yeah, I can propose it with the conditions, yeah.
Thank you. Seconder?
Yeah.
Pat, all in favour? Thank you. Right, moving on to item 6.4, which is application number 06462 for 62 Lowbourne, a proposed attached garage and gym alterations to existing driveway. Well, I will always remind the caveat on these ones is about it not being a dwelling,
Oh, right, yeah,
because it is detached.
yeah,
It's not for living in.
yes, I agree with that one. Sometimes they sneak in, don't they?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the size of the site is plenty big enough.
And as a gym, it might even have a shower and a toilet, so it might easily be
Convert.
resident.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm happy to propose it, but with that, yes, so it can't be used as use for that habitable. I'll propose it then.
Yeah.
Thank you, all in favour? Thank you. 6.5, which is application 08126 for 54 Churchill Avenue. So this is a two-storey extension and site access path, including removal of existing garage sheds and covered way, provision of additional open car parking space. This is the one that actually, interesting enough, Highways originally had a query. This then had some amendments made to the application, came back, and Highways then subsequently were happy with
What?
the amendments
Yes.
that we made to it.
Yes.
Then no, I don't know then. I have a proposal. Graham, do you have any comments on Pat proposing? I'll second it. In favour? Thank you. So item 7, which is to note the following planning decisions. So if I just quickly run through them, so 06220, so this was for the Foresters Arms. So this was to really smart the outside, it's great, we supported this and it was subsequently approved. 06725, the land at Longleys Lane, so this is care home, obviously we didn't oppose this. What was it not say? Yeah, and unfortunately it wasn't approved. Moving on to item 8, so this is the Wiltshire Gypsies and Traveller Development Plan and System Notes and assigned on the response. Input, thoughts, etc.
There was, I know that there were some concerns that maybe not all the sites were able to be gotten to by caravans, which obviously is quite a big issue if you're using them for travellers. So Karen, like obviously, it needs to, they do need to make sure they are fully accessible by, you know, those who are going to use it. And, you know, they're not going to go up and tiny little smart plants. They're all caravans, and some of them are RVs. And yes, so they do need to make sure that those sites are definitely appropriate. I did have something else. But, there was about the temporary sites as well for the travellers to stay at, where they can't stay any longer than 28 days. They need to be opened by Wiltshire Council. So as long as there is something appropriate set up so that Wiltshire Council know in advance, or have a 24-hour way of knowing, because sometimes they could be turning up at sort of like 9, 10 o'clock at night, needing somewhere to stay. So, or, you know, things happen that can delay them. So as long as that, you know, it's not we're only open from 9 till 2 every day, like, you know, then that needs to make sure that that's put in place. Otherwise, you know, the other thing was to make sure all the sites not only were accessible, but obviously that they did have all the services, which it does say that they do, but obviously you want to make sure that they can access clean water, that they've got sewage, that they've got electric points. So I know some of the sites say that they have electricity running too. That doesn't necessarily mean they have electric points. And your basic communities like there are toilets there. So, yeah.
Noted. Brilliant. Thank you. Bren, did you have anything on this?
I'm standing back on that one for the moment, thank you. Nothing really much to add. I mean, Charlie said some of the stuff there, and it's a long document, there's a lot of stuff there. I'm just going to take a pass, not comment further on that one.
Okay. Yeah, and I think for me personally, a lot of the comments in this need to come from the communities themselves as well, doesn't it? Because they know best what they really want and need.
This comes up every few years for looking at again, and it's the same every time, make sure we've got this, make sure we've got that. I just feel despondent that we're still saying that.
We have to make sure that they've got the basic amenities treated.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Item 9 is to note that the joint Melksham Neighbourhood Plan Steering Group meeting will be held on Wednesday, 25th of September.
It does not say that I would be going, but I'm otherwise engaged that evening. And so I have asked Tom Price, the mayor, to go in my place because it is a very important meeting. And I think it would be more as appropriate, if not more appropriate, that the mayor represented the town council at this meeting.
Okay, and so unless otherwise advised, the Melksham Town Council, full council will be meeting on extraordinary session on Tuesday, the 8th of October to approve.
At which point Tom can tell us.
Absolutely. Item 10, notice of parish stewards consider dogs to be able to be taken by the parish steward. The next scheduled dates are Wednesday, 9th, 10th, Monday, the 14th of October. I will just say before we do that, to thank Hugh and the community team because they have taken care of some bits around the town, which if we waited for production to do, we would have probably been waiting forever.
Sorry, thanks. Walking down to the car park down the alley by what's this book, whatever it's called, I keep forgetting the name of it. The bushes down there need chopping back about that much because it's taken up it's grown and it needs trimming, please.
Yeah.
We have done that before. The town council have done it before.
Yeah, no, she did it on the corner. I also picked up a load of litter tonight looking for as well.
Yeah.
The roundabouts by to be fair, most of them in the east, around Sandridge Way and all that, they're looking really scruffy, and the weeds coming out of them are getting to be quite long.
Sorry, I was just going to say that Andrew's put something to say that there is a up and coming programme about clearing, guttering and roads, because he did point out that at some point the town council said they did not want weed killers down. I think they are, obviously there's controls on what weed killer they do. Told that they have told them to spray the weeds.
Yeah, pulling up then. That's the only way to get rid of the weed is to pull it up by the roots. They need to be pulled up.
Right. So at some point, we have said in the past that we didn't want to use weed killer. Ian, who's parish steward, so basically Wiltshire Council have now kind of said to use weed killer where appropriate, but obviously the appropriate weed killer. Yes, I get it.
But I don't like them to be just sprayed and then they die and they're just brown things sitting there. Eventually they get tangled up in car wheels or maybe a lorry will come round and sweep them away if you're lucky once a year.
But I mean, as Andrew has pointed out here, ultimately it is Wiltshire Council, so we are kind of
I know
a bit at their hands on that. I won't. So But have we got any other, obviously that sounds like it's been something already on the parish steward's list of stuff.
Are we able to give specific roads that we need the council to go around as well? 'Cause, I can't remember what road I live on now. And Skylark, well, it's not just Skylark, but the little attachment roads, now they were meant to be done. And the weeds are just growing everywhere out all the sort of like sides. And the problem is as well, because the pavement and the road are the exact same level in a lot of the places, that actually you've got the weeds, you kind of got a bump of weeds. So, you know, if we could, get that sorted, please, that would be lovely.
And perhaps we could make a note that nobody is going to stop any resident in those areas from pulling up a weed or two.
Well, this is what I have asked, and it is, I'm going to ask again if we can please ask for a piece to be put in the min again about encouraging residents just to look after their own little patches, because if everybody looks after their own little patches, then
It looks better
Yeah.
instantly.
Has there been, well, we've asked before for that, has there actually been that one? Okay,
It's just not in most people's thoughts to go outside their gates. And of course, all those houses don't have gates.
no, we don't, we just look at the road and go, you don't belong to us, so
Yeah,
we don't bother.
exactly, yeah.
on that note, have we got anything else or are we done?
I mean, the only thing I say, it keeps coming up, and we've got it coming up at the main council, is the subway into the A350, which is a perpetual mess, and if we can get that cleaned up in the meantime.
And you like a little update
Go
on?
on, John.
So it was brought up at the area board meeting that there is a project that will be coming out for the subway
Yes,
for street art.
yes.
Wiltshire Council are putting it all together, where they've come up with this.
I mean, it's just appeared on the agenda for next Monday, so there's very much more, it's an interim question, really. Hey, for the next month or two, can it be kept
I
here?
think if I remember correctly, they did say in Caroline, who's speaking about it from Wiltshire Council, did say that she'd be contacting Melksham Town Council about the project and giving us the updates on it, so.
Councillor Reeves?
Can I ask our town clerk if there is any news about the Avon memorial?
I'll give you an update on that.
Thank you.
You've not read your emails today?
Say that
You've
again.
not read your emails today?
Not since before lunch,
Obviously
no.
not. No, so obviously you'll know that I was obviously quite upset by
Yes,
this
yes.
yesterday, and so basically where we are with this now is that next Tuesday, so some of the delays are caused by getting onto site, because obviously we can't just go walking on there willy-nilly to do whatever the hell we like. So there was a little bit of an issue with getting hold of people from the site. Dave has managed to do that now, and the equipment is booked to move it, because obviously the biggest problem has been is the concrete foundations for the memorial are way, way deeper than any of us expected it to be. So we've hired the equipment to be able to move it. That is happening next Tuesday.
Yeah, like an iceberg, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much like an iceberg. So yes, that will be being handled finally.
Thank you.
So I can not.
Just wanted it to be made public.
Yes, there has been we have released a press release to that effect today, which is on all our social medias already.
Okay, I'll catch up later.
It should be in place, as was always planned by remembrance.
Yeah, it should have been done before that, but anyway.
It should have been done before that. We're still actually on target, and possibly the failure is to inform the public as to why there's been a delay, rather than.
Yeah, that's for another time. Thank you, Dave. Okay, so short speaking then. Okay. Thank you.
Can I ask a general question? It's just outside of the meeting.
Yeah, let me just switch everything off a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, just